Hi, my name is Peter. I published over 1,600 books on Amazon KDP and most of them as part of a brand. Last year, I made over $500,000 with only one brand. When I publish a new book in this brand, I can simply send out an email to my email subscribers and the book has more than enough reviews after only a few weeks. If you're a publisher and you're struggling with reviews, I can tell you this is the most freeing feeling ever and the main reason I started creating brands. This video is for you if you want to get 30, 50 or even 100 plus reviews right after a new book launches, but you feel stuck with your current method and you want to learn how to build a very well-known book brand on KDP. Today I'm not alone, but I have Andre with me. Andre, do you want to start and share the benefits of having one or multiple brands on KDP instead of publishing individual books?
Sure. The review part, the review component is maybe the most important part of it because it's just way more relaxing to have multiple books in a series and you know all the people that bought the first book and you managed to collect their emails, for example. You can just send them emails, find them as, get them as test readers, and then they can review your second book. Then the second book, it's way easier to get the first 30 reviews than for the first book. For the third book, it's easier than for the 2 books before. For the fourth book, it's easier than the 3 books before. And it's always gets easier. So that's a huge advantage to have. Of course, a big brand makes it even more easy. But also a few small brands. I know you will a lot talk about building bigger brands, 10 books plus, and I have smaller, maybe not brands, but series of books that are under one bigger brand. But I'm more series focused than brand focused because I'm also in a special niche where this makes more sense. And there, if I have 5 books in a series, then I can get all the people who buy one book to also buy the other ones and review the other ones. And this way get a lot of reviews and cross-promotion sales. And I think these are the 2 biggest advantages a brand has.
Yes. And the reason I started the brand, it was, I think, 2017 I started.
Yeah.
It was that during that time there were no review sites. So getting reviews, it was much harder than what it is now. But even now we see some struggles with getting reviews. So I think that the power of branding is still there in terms of reviews as well.
Yeah, also these review sites, they're also limited. I would guess before review sites it was a whole other strategy, a whole other approach to KDP. But now with review sites, at least you can publish around the book a month and get enough reviews for it. But you can't do really more. So if you want to scale and do one book a week, or if you want to scale crazy and make 2 books a week or 3 books a week, it's not really possible with these review sites. And then you would need to come back to the strategy you developed back in 2017 and build email lists with lead magnets, brand building, and this way getting all of your reviews.
You often talk about the quantity of reviews versus the quality of reviews. Can you explain the difference and how this relates to branding?
If you look at KDP from a customer's perspective, the first thing he does is, of course, go on Amazon, but then goes to the search bar and types his keyword. The keyword is what he thinks will solve his problem. So the niche your book is in is a problem that the person have. If, for example, are looking for a Christmas gift, your problem is that you lack a Christmas gift. You need a Christmas gift to give it to a person, and then you type in Christmas gift. And the keyword is what the person thinks will solve the problem or will show results that then solve the problem. That's how people think. Or that's what is unconsciously behind their heads when they search something on Amazon. And then the first thing they see in the search are your book, title and reviews. And what they see on the review front are the stars and the number of reviews. And the stars here, as long as you have more than 4, so if you have 4.5 stars, visually there, or 5 stars, that's okay. So you can't do more quality-wise for the reviews there. If you have 4 stars, it's a bad sign and it will lower your click rate. But if you have more than 4.5 stars, or at least 4.5 or 5 stars, that's completely fine. The more important thing in the search is the number of reviews. If you have a higher number of reviews, more people will click. So your click-through rate is dependent more on the review quantity than the review quality. Of course, as I said, you need to have at least 4.5 stars. If you have 4 stars, this is really bad. So the 4.3, if you have 4.3 rating, everything below 4.3 has only 4 visual stars on Amazon. And you don't want to have that. So quality-wise, you need to have at least 4.3 in your rating. That's not so hard to manage. So manage that. And else, it's mainly quantity. So people want quantity, they want 100, 200, 500, 1,000 reviews there, and then they know, okay, a lot of people like this book, I will click on it. So the more reviews, the better for the click-through rate. That's the quantity part. But as soon as people clicked on your book, they scroll, of course, they first look at the book, maybe look inside the book, look at the A+ content, read the description, all that kinds of things, but they most of the time scroll down and go to the review sections. And their first visual thing they see is the 5 bars, 5 out of 5 stars, 4 stars, 3, 2, 1 stars. And if they see the bar at 1 star is bigger than, for example, at 2, 3 or 4 stars, so the 5 stars and the 1 stars are the 2 biggest, then they are skeptical, because it seems that the quality of the book isn't that good, because there are a lot of 1-star reviews. And if they click on the 1-star reviews, and the 1-star reviews are more detailed as the 5-star reviews, are longer, have maybe pictures where they show what's bad in the book, then this makes them skeptical and makes them think that the 5-star reviews maybe aren't real reviews. And that's one reason why quality is important, because bad quality of reviews, the people click on your book and look at your book, but they won't buy, they won't convert into customers, because they see bad reviews and then don't buy. And what you should aim is to get high quality reviews, so longer 5-star reviews with pictures, positive reviews, where people, if they read the reviews, they themselves reflect while reading the reviews. They see, okay, that's a person that's exactly like me or similar to me. The person had the same problem and this book solved it for them. So they need to think like that. They need to feel a connection with the people who write the review. And the more reviews you have like that, the higher quality are the reviews. And now imagine if you build a brand, if people not only bought one of your book, but that's the second, the third, the fourth book, then they normally like you, they have a connection with you and your book brand, and then they are more open to write longer reviews. Maybe even tell in the review, I bought also the other 2 books from this author, I also love them, and this 3rd book I now bought is also amazing. And they write a big, long review where they really explain why they love your book so much. And these are the best reviews you can get, and the quality of these reviews will lead that if people click on your book, they read the reviews and then they will convert. So the quantity, the number of reviews is for the click-through rate more important, and the quality, so how good the reviews are, how well written they are, is more important for the conversion rate. So these 2 metrics we need to have in mind. And that brand building is one great method to get also more high quality reviews.
And from a practical point of view, how to get these reviews, it's simple. You set up a lead magnet page, you drive traffic from the book to the lead magnet page. People enter their email to get something for free. You can also drive, for example, Facebook ads to get leads that way. And then once they are on the email list, you have 2 paths. Either you set up an advanced review copy team. So you send out an email, do you want to join the advanced review copy team? This is all automated through an autoresponder. And then they join the ARC list, and there they get a chance to get the books 1 week in advance. So before the book launches on Amazon, they get early access, which is one of the benefits of joining the advanced review copy team. but also, of course, they get the books for free. So that is the reason why they would want to join this team. So that's one way. The other way is if you have a smaller email list, is that you simply use the main list, and let's say you use a service such as Booksprout. You set up the advanced review copy team there, and you say, you email your list, here's a free book, and then Booksprout will then also help to follow up. But of course you want to follow up and send emails, hey, now the book is live, you can leave a review here. So that is the practical of how this setup works.
Yeah. And if you do that and build big book brands after the third or fourth book, it always gets easier to create to get the review count. And if you start a new brand, what you can do before you launch the first book with lead magnets, as Peter explained, or you can just start building an email list and doing a Facebook ad, for example, on a lead magnet. There you collect emails, and these people you nurture and tell that you plan to launch your first book on this date, and then ask if they want to join the ARC list. And then maybe you have 50 people who would be ready to download your first book for free or read your first book for free. And a lot of them, if you wrote the emails nicely and they like the lead magnet you created for them, they will really leave a review for your first book. So you don't even need a big brand and only the fifth book will benefit, but you can start for the first book on your brand. And all the people who then do this for the first book, they also can do it for the second, third, fourth, and so on. So that's how you start if you want to create a new brand. And of course, if you currently already have a brand, then it's even easier.
Yes. So the benefit is you get reviews for one book, then you can get reviews for the other books in the series.
Yep.
Brief shameless plug you don't want to miss. Have you ever wanted to meet other KDP self-publishers in one room, exchange ideas, and have a great time together? Then our 2-day Mastermind event in Las Vegas on October 25 and 26 is exactly what you're looking for. Uncover secret strategies in our speeches, get one-on-one advice from me and our team in workshop sessions, and exchange ideas with other publishers at your level and above. Click on the first link in the description to find out more. Next, what about sales? Let's discuss cross sales and the power of having a brand. I think one thing is to see, okay, if you only do the top niches, you only go after the top niches, there's no connection. So if you get a book to take off here, it doesn't affect any of these other books that you have because they're all in different niches.
Yep.
But if you have books under one brand, what happens is you might not have success with this book, you might not have success with this book, but this book, it takes off. So what happens? People buy this book, they realize maybe on the A+ content of that book, you have listed the other books in the series, or at the end of this book, you have, if you like this book, you might also like these books or this book. And then what happens is this third book, it lifts these other two books. So the sales of these two books now increase. And then of course, if you have an email list, everything gets fed into the system where, okay, now you're getting sales for this book, for this book, for this book. And now when you launch a new book, you get more sales for this, you get more reviews for this one. And all of a sudden you have a completely different ecosystem compared to only having individual books that have no connection between them.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you do this with book series that really fit the topic, so the topic makes sense, it makes sense to buy not one, but a lot of these books, maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 5, then it even works better. And you can do in the A+ content, you can show the other books of the series. And for me, I think that was one of the most valuable things, because the cross-promotion effect through the A+ content promotion of your other books, a few people fear that then the people don't buy your book they're currently on, but buy one of the other book. But even if they do it, it's still a sale for you. So it's still your benefit. And most of the time they just buy both. So they buy the book they're currently on, but also 1 or 2 or 3 of the books you promote in the A+ content. You shouldn't underestimate that people buy more than one book. People often buy 2, 3 or more books that are just for the same topic. Even though if they would solve the same problem, they just want at least 2 or 3 books to have different perspectives on the topic. Of course, it depends on the niche. For example, coloring books. People buy coloring books, maybe if they buy one coloring book, they maybe buy, in the course of a year, they buy 50 coloring books. It's just a niche where more traffic buys more books. But also a lot of other niches where you don't even think of it. For example, what's the English word? Yeah, for example, some books where you learn something. Learn how to play the piano was my example. If you want to learn how to play the piano, you just maybe buy 2 books to have 2 different perspectives on how to learn how to play the piano. Even though both books address the same need you have, you still buy both to have, as I said, these 2 perspectives. And you shouldn't underestimate that. And if you do that in the A+ content and make cross promotion, it really makes sense for the people. A lot of my brands, I think people not only buy 1 book, but all of my 5 books, for example, together. And that's a huge benefit instead of just launching books in individual niches, launching them in the same niche, build a brand, a series that makes sense. If it's chronological, perfect. If it's not chronological, it also works. But just build series out of your books and people will buy them together.
Yes. So in business, we talk about customer lifetime value. And by having a series, you increase the customer lifetime value. So let's say you only have 1 book, then it's $5, let's say, in royalty per book sale. But if you can now get a book or some customers to buy another book, and then maybe some customers, they buy 10 books, all of your books, then of course the average customer lifetime value will go up, which will then impact your ability to run ads more aggressively, for example. I know you, Andre, you're big into Facebook ads. So that has enabled you to not really care if you make a profit on the main book, because you know that the sales that will follow from that book, just by running aggressively Facebook ads, will then bring back the money from the sales from the other books.
Maybe one specific example so that people can know what it looks like in practice. I have this one book brand with 4 books, and the bestseller gets heavily Facebook ad traffic, and the bestseller does around 2,000 euros a month in royalties. But I also spend around 2,000 euros in ads. But the other 3 books, they don't have a lot of ad spend. They all have around $50 to $100 a month. That's not a lot for them. But all of them do between 500 and 1,000 a month. So my brand in total makes around 5K a month. All my expenses are for 1 book mainly. And all the other books, they have 95% of the royalties are net profit, because the traffic is cross promotion. Of course, also inside of my bestseller, the other books get promoted. So even if the people don't buy it direct on Amazon, if they have the book at home, if they read it, they see the other books in the book with QR codes linked. And then maybe they buy it a month later. And this is also cross promotion you can do with a brand.
Yes. So we talked about reviews, we talked about cross sales. Let's now talk about the benefit in terms of creating the books. Because one of the biggest benefit I see is that when you put in the effort to create a book, that we can agree that that is the biggest effort in book publishing, is actually creating the book. And it's where we put most of the money as well. But when we have a brand, we leverage the previous experience of creating the book in the next books. So we can use a similar template. We can use the same writers if we're hiring writers, and we can leverage all this thing that we built up. Even the outlines could be similar. How we instruct the writers. So it will not only save us a lot of time and effort, but it might also save us money. So can you expand on this, Andre?
Yes, it's an efficiency question. If you have a writer, or if you always need to change the writer because you have different topics you want to write on. It's a new writer, a new person. He doesn't know how you communicate with them. He doesn't know the guidelines. He doesn't know what your expectations are. It's just a new person. You need to learn everything. You teach everything from scratch. And that's just inefficient. If you have always the same writer or the same writer team and they do the same type of book, of course, different. Example, Harry Potter. Harry Potter 1, 2 and 3 are all the same type of book. They're different books, but the same type of book. If J.K. Rowling wrote the first one, she can write the second one in the same style as the first one. And this is the same you want to use for your non-fiction brand. If they wrote one book for you, they can write a second, a third, a fifth, a fourth, a fifth book for you in the same style as the first one, and it's just way more efficient because they already wrote one book, and then they can also write a second one way faster because they understand also how you communicate and your guidelines, everything. So it's just way more efficient to have the same person work on the book, and then you can also hire more freelancers, build a bigger team. If they all work on the same project, they just have this baseline, this really strong baseline where they can build on.
Yes, I think that's the main thing. Or do you have anything to add?
No, just if they want to make, I think to scale KDP, it's the easiest to scale with the brand because you don't have the bottleneck of reviews. That's one of the biggest bottlenecks. You have the benefit of cross promotion, and you have the benefit of book production. Or maybe for some reason, for some people, book production is a bottleneck. And in this case, it also solves the bottleneck of book production because you can just make more books faster, but still with a great quality. So these are the benefits of creating a huge or a lot of huge publishing brands.
Yes, and you're aligned with the compound effect. The compound effect is, let's say you're rolling a snowball. In the beginning, it's very slow, which it was for my main brand. It was not the most profitable niche, and it's still not the most profitable niche. But because of this power of having a brand where the books feed each other, we have the email list, we have social media, then it becomes this big ecosystem. And as the snowball kept rolling, it gets bigger and bigger. And also think about the word of mouth. People do not only talk on social media, they talk with each other. Yeah. I've gotten emails from people or from companies that want to feature my book in their TV series, in their movies. I've gotten emails from China, from other countries. They want to translate the book. So you get all these income opportunities as well, which you don't necessarily get if you only have an individual book here, an individual book here. And also, there's no way for these Chinese translators or Korean translators or these people that want to have your book inside their TV series or whatnot. There's no way for them to contact you because you only have your book on Amazon, and the only thing they have is the Amazon customer support. So you don't have a website, you don't have anything. So building a brand, it can also help you to get income from elsewhere and also to feed everything in a much different way. Anything to add there?
Exactly. No.
Okay.
I think that's all.
Okay. Then thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, you might also enjoy this video over here. Thank you very much, Andre.
Thank you, Peter.